Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from where you're watching from. Again, welcome to Codes on KE. Today we are going to cover what we call the selection statement. So think about it. If I say 4 plus 5 is equals to 9, what is this? This is a true expression or a true statement. If we have again 4, the same one, 4 plus 5, and I say is equals to 20, then the statement is what we call a false statement. So I would wish to say if now somebody, I'll have a mathematical tool that tells me 4 plus 5 is, I want to, rather than true, I say is incorrect. Okay, is correct. Sorry, this one will be correct. And I have 4 plus 5 is 20 is incorrect. To have such statements for you to have the freedom to say once an expression is true, do something, you have to put them inside something we call selection statements. Selection statements are quite a number. We're going to cover 4 of them in this session. We have the if, we have the if else, we have the else if statement, we have the nested if, we have 2 more that we call the conditional expression, and we have a final one that we call switch. So we're going to learn all of them and see the practicalities of using them. So today we're only going to cover the 4 of them. And we start with what we call the if statement. If statement, remember the Boolean expression, we've done it in the previous videos, and we've said any Boolean expression has only 2 things. Either it's either true or it's either false. But when it comes to if statement, this Boolean expression has to be true. So think about, we say we want to find the area of a circle, that the condition is here. The radius has to be greater than 0. Okay, the condition here, if I have to write here and say my condition at this point is simple. The radius has to be greater than 0. Okay, so what I'm going to say, I'm going to declare a variable here and say radius, say I pass 9. Okay, in my condition, I come and say, then radius, if radius is greater than 0, find the area of, you simply find the area of a circle. If you do that in form of an algorithm here. So we're simply saying radius is equals to 9. The condition here is radius has to be greater than 0. Is 9 greater than 0? True. Okay, if you were to put this in a Boolean expression and say radius 9, is it greater than 0? It will give us a true. If it is true, then simply find the area of a circle. The if statement, what happens? The next question is, what happens if the if statement is false? The compiler continues to compile whatever statements that you have from there. So if statements only execute when this particular condition is true. That is when it goes inside the if statement and executes the statement inside. If it is false, then the compiler continues with your program, and what happens after? If. That is the if statement. Now we have said the if statement does that, only compiles when it's true. If you want to do something else, okay, if you want to do something else in once the condition is false, then you put it inside something we call the if else statement. So again, I'm going to use this same example and say if radius is greater than 0, simply find the area of a circle. Okay, else if the radius is less than 0, simply print the radius is less than 0. Simple. So the else here is used to catch the statement or simply execute statements once the first condition here is false. So if now we have my radius here, if I copy the same radius here and paste it here, and radius is it equals to 9? Yes. So this one automatically computes the area of a circle. Whatever I pass a radius and have it as -9, it leaves the if, since the condition here is false, but we have another condition that captures what to do if the condition is false, which is in else. So radius is less than 9. So simply print that the radius is less than 0. That is the if else. We have another type of condition that is called else if. So else if has several conditions. So the first Boolean statement here is, for example, I want to have my radius. I still have to check this radius is equals to 9, okay? The first expression here is when radius is greater than 0, okay? Simply print radius is greater than 0. Print radius is greater than 0, greater than 0. Else if, okay, else if this radius again, if this radius is greater than 100, okay, that is when I want to say radius. Since now, else if what happened? This one, the first expression, the first condition here is true. Now, else if this one has to be true. Okay, so if radius is greater than 100, again, okay, print the radius is greater than 100. Okay, so as long as this condition is true, it will pass. As long as this second condition is true, it goes. If these two conditions are false, then the statement here is to print condition 1, print condition 1, print condition 1, and condition 2 are false. Okay, print condition 1 and 2, it only prints when, okay, it only executes when the first condition and the second condition are false. Okay, so if this one is false, if I have negative 9, is negative 9 less than, is negative 9 greater than 0? No. Is negative 9 greater than 100? No. So this one will print. But if we have 100 here, if I have 1, is 101 greater than 0? Yes. Is 101 greater than 100? Yes. So these two are going to print. But as long as these conditions are false, then it will go to else. I'm going to show you where we're going to use the else if. And if you have many more else if, again it continues. You can have lengthy else if. So you can have else if radius maybe is greater than 200. What do you do? The statement, you have your statement here. You have print maybe radius is greater than 200 at this point, okay? If all of them are false, then again you have your else. Nested if is when you have an if inside another if. So we have the first if statement here. The if statement, it says there's a Boolean expression 1. If this Boolean expression 1 is true, the compiler goes again and check if this Boolean expression 2 is true. So I'm going to have maybe again radius here. I'm going to have my radius here and say radius is equals to 9. Okay, so if radius, we want to check if radius is greater than 0, that is true. 9 is nini. So, but if radius is less than 10, is when you find the area of a circle. Find the area. If these two condition, if the first condition, if the radius is greater than 0, yes, less than 9, true, it will find the area of a circle. If I say, for example, I have my 12, the radius is 12, is radius greater than 0? True, but 12 is not less than 10, so automatically it will print this particular, it goes to the else. The else here is inside the if radius is equals to 0. I don't know whether I'm making sense. So if radius is greater than 0, 12 is greater than 0, true. But there's another condition inside the if statement that says if this radius should be less than 10. So 12 is greater than 10. It won't find the area, but automatically goes to print the expression 2, which is radius is less than 10. Again, what if I have negative 12 here? So radius already is less than 0. So automatically it goes to the outer else. So I know when you do this theoretically might be a little, especially for the else if and the nested if, it might look confusing. But in our next session, you're going to do the practicals of this so that you're able to get the gist when you're using the if statement, the if else, the else if, and finally the nested if. Again, like and subscribe, but most of all, we continue learning. Thank you.